So thanks so much. We have a small number of entrepreneurs. We could make it more informal, I would say. So hey guys, my name is Shazeeb Muhammad Khairul Islam. I work as the managing director at YY Ventures. We are essentially an incubator, a consultancy, and an early stage fund. We were founded in Bangladesh, but since the past couple of years, we have been also running projects in countries like Thailand, Philippines, and Central African Republic. And from next month, we are also going to start our first project for entrepreneurs in East Africa. So I am not a sales expert myself, but I know how to sell. At least at our work, we do both business to business and business to customers. And in one side, we sell our programs and services to large development organizations like Netherlands Enterprise Agency, UN system, or like UNDP. On the other side, we also sell clean water from our water social business to disadvantaged communities at a very nominal price. So before we move into the next stage, I would like to know about the entrepreneurs. If you can, maybe in just 30 seconds, say your name, from where you are connecting, and also what are you trying to sell?
Who wants to start? I see Daisy already has the camera on, so maybe Daisy, if you want to give it a start.
All right, okay. My name is Daisy. I'm calling from Nairobi, Kenya. And what I want to sell is, I want to sell a mobile health app. I don't think I'm good enough at sales. I want to sell affordable and accessible healthcare solution.
All right.
All right.
So, but what are you trying to sell again?
Convenience.
Right.
I have no idea.
Yeah, this answered my question. Who's the next volunteer? Anybody else?
Lydia, do you want to give it a go?
I can already say I really hate sales, but let's see. Well, I'm trying to sell sustainable beauty and nutritional beauty and nutritional products made from the cacao fruit. But the way Daisy answered it, I don't know how to say it. I'm selling sustainability. I'm selling, yeah,
sustainability or the product. Lydia, can you come again? Yeah, what's the product that you are trying to sell?
It's an innovative product, an innovative approach.
I don't care if your approach is innovative. I'm not buying your product if it doesn't help me.
Well, I haven't figured that out yet, to be honest. I really do have to say, when it comes to the customer, this is exactly, I'm wrapping my head around this. I don't know. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, what do they get? If they give you money, what do they get?
A beautiful product, a beautifully designed product that will add to the nutrition of the customer. Yeah.
Right. So I buy a nutritious product from you, right? So I buy a nutritious product from you.
Okay.
All right. So I see a message. I'm Irene from Rwanda. Irene is running a digital marketing service company. Irene is selling digital marketing services as to help businesses to brand their activities in digital world. All right. So marketing. which means Erin is selling ideas and creativity. Who's our next volunteer?
I think there is Hani left.
Hey, my name is
Hi.
Umuhani, and I am selling a health tech platform. So it can be either an HMIS, a telehealth tool, depending on the client. But if I am to quantify exactly what I'm selling in terms of just the idea is empowerment. So we're providing access to health records. We're empowering patients to own their own health records.
And how are you doing it?
So we charge hospitals.
Right. So to whom you are selling?
We charge, we sell hospitals, hospital management system, EHR system, but in actual reality, the real value is the patient having access to their health records.
Right. So you are selling an hospital management system, like a software.
A SaaS platform.
Right. So yeah. So the reason why I asked you, I'll come here. I'm also trying to have a background of what kind of knowledge you have around sales and how I can help you. So I'm going to share my slides, and I would like to begin with a question. Mohammed, can you see my slide?
Yes.
Perfect. So let's begin the workshop with this question. What's the most important skill an entrepreneur needs? You can either speak or write in the chat. Maybe Mohammed can read them.
We have confidence.
Confidence.
Communication.
Communication.
Sales.
Sales.
Marketing.
Marketing. All right, so we have, as entrepreneurs, we need all of these skills to be successful in a year. Ideally, our incubator runs 6 programs, which mean we work very closely with 60 entrepreneurs, and for each of them, maybe they get at least 5 boot camps, and then they work from the same community space. And then I start most of our bootcamp with this question. And in 99% cases, they does not give me the answer that I want to hear, which is I personally think as an entrepreneur, the most important skill that we need is sales. A lot of people will come up with an idea of a technology product like a social platform. They go to bed tonight, and then next morning they imagine they're going to be Mark Zuckerberg. This can never happen. So we, as entrepreneurs, we need ideas, we need to have implementation skills, we need to have friends, we need to have money, we need to have a community. But to me, I think if you do not know how to sell, then you cannot take your business further. So whoever has said that sales is the most important skill that we need, congratulations. But for the rest of you, we are here. So over the next 40 to 45 minutes, I'm going to talk about these things. There are a few points that comes from my life. I've been an entrepreneur for 8 years, and then there are a few things that comes from theory. If we still have time, we can go for theory. If not, I'm happy if I can just share my own experience with you. So what are the 2 things that you would like to know from this workshop around sales? You can either speak or you can write, and Mohammed can read them.
I think for me, it is, I often don't think in terms of the customer, what does the customer need, but I actually think of the vision that I have. And I don't think,
Right.
okay, why does the customer actually want to buy this product? So this customer approach, yeah.
Right, perfect. Yeah. So you want to hear about it? I think we're going to cover it. Anyone else? All right. What are the two things that you do not want to hear from me? Do not give us lectures. Could be anything.
Anyone?
Selling is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay.
sentence is a trigger.
Yeah, super. I'm not going to say selling is easy. All right. Anything else?
Maybe that I need a big team for it, or that it's costing my biggest
Right.
investment.
Right. All right. Thanks so much for sharing. So how important is it to record the session?
We're recording in case the other founders who couldn't join want to rewatch it. Is it an issue for you if you record it?
No, I mean, Mohammed knows me for many years. I really like to have straight and direct conversation, and I try to follow Chatham House rule. So everything that we say stays within us.
Okay.
Is it okay if we do not record?
I would really love to record this. This is Sahela, because the idea is of really having an asset we can reuse, share with other founders. So if you don't mind,
Okay.
it will
No,
stay
it's okay. It's okay. Don't
Easy goal.
worry. No, it's okay. It's okay. Let's keep on doing it.
Great. Thank you.
So no problem. So I think we already had this thing. Guys, to me, I think entrepreneurship is really, really hard. All humans are born entrepreneurs. That's what my mentor, Professor Mohammed Yunus, says. But I personally think everyone is entrepreneurial, and then we have all the power to utilize our knowledge and skills and resources to good use. I think all I heard in the past 10 minutes from you guys, we talked about sustainability, we talked about giving healthcare, we talked about accessibility. We are all trying to help someone. So in terms of being or becoming a very good salesperson, I think the first thing that we have to do is we have to align our cause with our consumers. So I'll give you one example. We run a very small water project. It's called Shishi Water. We started this as a joint venture with Grameen 3 years ago. And what we do is we set up community-based water treatment plants. And then we treat surface water and we deliver clean water in a 20-liter jar in their doorsteps. We are trying to address a big problem in Bangladesh, which is more than 39 million people in a country of 160 million doesn't have access to clean water. And there are more than 3 million people who has access to no water. But guess what? We thought we are trying to build a great social business and we are trying to sell water at a very affordable price. So we started going to all these houses and started talking to these women. We said, hey, this is something that you need. There is no arsenic here. It's clean and safe. You can drink it. You have to pay us $0.25 for 20 liters of water, which is like nothing. And they say, you guys are bringing this water from the river. Why are you trying to charge us money for this? Because this is all right. We don't want to pay for it. So what we think and what our customers think were not really aligning, and we were not really being able to sustain this business. So we came up with the second business model, which is what kind of customers are there who would appreciate clean water at an affordable price. There were hospitals, there were schools, there were stores, and then there were lower income families who already had the knowledge why drinking clean water was important. And once we got to know it over the next 6 months, we went back to the underprivileged communities, and then we started talking to them. So we need to make sure that we inspire and educate our consumers and customers, thus they get involved. So while you are trying to build your business and trying to sell your product, I recommend that you do some research on your customers. At our incubator, in the first bootcamp, I tell all entrepreneurs, go and talk to 50 of your potential customers and see what they say about it. Create a very small questionnaire and listen to them. Or another creative idea is to do a listening tour in your community. Do they really want an organic product? Are these hospitals ready to install an hospital management system? Are they willing to make sure that our patients have their data recorded? Do they really care? Because at the end of the day, for business to business sales, we have to remember that it's the consumers, the end customers who are paying for it, right? So first thing first, align your cause with your consumers. If your cause or your mission does not resonate with your customers, you are already off on the wrong foot. Does that answer any of your thoughts? And do you have any questions at this stage?
I do.
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. So in my case, the hospitals are the one using or rather paying for the services.
Right.
But of course, our end goal is the consumer, providing that access to health records to the patient.
Right.
So it's both. It's almost it's almost a case of Uber where you need both
Right.
the drivers and the riders. So
both of them pay, yes.
Yes, exactly. Patients has
Okay.
the potential to push hospitals to adapt the platform, but also hospitals need to see the value. So who is my consumer in this case? Who is my customer in this case?
Who's giving you money? Both of them?
Hospitals. No, hospitals.
So then hospitals are your customers.
Okay, makes sense.
Patients maybe are drivers, but they are not your customers. So, and if you really want to be very, very precise, you have to find one character in the hospital management board who makes the decision that, yes, I'm going to buy this system because our patients, they are looking for it, right? So your customers or consumers becomes forced to buy from you, but they are forced because the beneficiaries want it. So basically you have two groups. One is your customers, that's hospitals, and your beneficiaries, that is the patients. So I recommend, if you can, if you have not done so, do a very small research, maybe split 10 hospitals, 25 beneficiaries. And I think you are going to find a lot of data and answers to many of your questions.
Thank you for that.
No
Sorry,
problem.
I have one short question.
Feel free.
Do I need to have an MVP to do my research, or can I do it before?
Not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are really, really good in terms of selling their concepts, right? So if you know, like right now, you cannot take your users through a journey where they actually get to experience your product, right? but maybe you can talk about it. You are already creating it.
Mm-hmm.
So for research, it's just you have to tweak how you talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. And then I have almost no knowledge or experience of working with, products or businesses that makes someone rich, like products coming from profit maximizing companies. So everything that I'm going to share are all around social enterprise, social business. And if you are trying to build a profit maximizing business, this may not relate to you, but I'm happy to discuss about your ideas or thoughts. All right, so the second point is to communicate your impact or storytelling, right? So once you do the research for your hospital management system, if you hear from 25 beneficiaries, you can basically take it to the hospital and say, if you are buying my product and if you're installing this, maybe your sales would increase to this percent because I have spoken to this number of potential customers of your hospital, like this people and patients, and they really would like to have these records. And it's not really enough to build a great product, right? Because on the other side, great marketing can also not make sure that your product will be sold. So one of the biggest social enterprises that we have in Bangladesh, it's called Arong. So Arong means a marketplace, and they're a marketplace for handcrafted products, but they are owned by world's biggest NGO, BRAC. I don't know if you are familiar with the name BRAC. They're everywhere in the world, like in many countries. They call them the largest family in the world. So, but their clothes are really, really expensive. But trust me, I go to their shops and malls because I care about the impact, but I also care about the product. So, in terms of showing your impact, talking about sustainability is not just enough if your product is not able to compete with other products, right? Maybe your product is a good one, but many cases, a lot of our friends and consumers also look for the cheaper ones, right? If we talk about fast fashion, we know that fast fashion is bad for the environment, right? But on the other side, organic ones, circular ones, recycled ones are often little expensive, not all the time if you want to buy secondhand, right? So as consumers, we have to make these decisions and also make sure that we have the right kind of product that can compete in the commercial market. So here, my recommendation is walk an extra mile, uh, take one step further, and take your efforts at a very personal level. Because I truly believe humans really care about our social and environmental impact, and then they care it more because now we are all in a pandemic. The pandemic has opened our eyes that I cannot sleep in a nice way if my living room is burning. If Amazonia is burning, I cannot say Bangladesh would be safe. And it's been too hot, extremely hot for the past couple of days in our country. Air conditioners doesn't help. It's truly a result from the global warming, right? So we also have a conscious generation of consumers, specifically millennials, who care about this kind of impact. So I recommend that you take an extra mile to communicate your impact. Like buy this product, with this product, you are getting amazing blah, 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 but you are also helping someone else with better income opportunities. Any questions so far? Perfect. No questions. Let's have a look on the third point. Getting your customers involved. This is the approach that I really, really like personally. So we are building one of the largest co-working space in Dhaka. And somehow we launched this space in March, 7th of March last year. And then our country went into lockdown exactly 12 days later. So we built a beautiful space, but there was no customers. But every month I have to pay this big rent and all the service fees and salaries of my colleagues. We were not sure what to do. For 6 months, it was closed. From the 7th month, the lockdown was a bit eased. People were still moving out, and then the kind of customers that we expected, they were not ready to come to office. But frontline fighters like healthcare service providers who had left their offices at the beginning or the first couple of months of the pandemic, and one maker space that was building face shield and face covers using 3D printers, needed a space. So we invited them in our space. We make sure that everything was there, and we asked them to contribute in terms of the design of the next phase of the space. Like, what kind of meal would you like to have? What kind of coffee or tea would you like to have? What kind of hosts would you like to have? And each Monday, we hosted a community event, and we called it Monday Dumplings. All food is on us. We just want you to come, eat with us, and experience this space. We are still in a pandemic, but just in 14 months, we are now expanding this space. We never thought that our space will be filled with healthcare providers, right? People, we are fighting the pandemic in the front line. So if you involve your customers in the process, maybe you have never really considered a group of people that they are going to buy your product. Maybe they will, right? So people actually feels more connected with social enterprises when they are invited to participate in the process. So if you are working with, like, let's say, artisans, right? Organize a very small tour, and then you ask people, right? You just pay for your lunch, and then I don't know if it's possible because we're in a pandemic, just an idea. And then we take a tour with the 6 or 10 artisans. I have a friend who has been hosting these tours. I have taken those tours with her, only with social enterprises in Berlin. And then I experienced Berlin in a very different way throughout this tour, right? So because of this tour, many of those social enterprises, they are getting new customers involved in the process. I even bought few things. I always cared about reducing plastic, but before that tour, I never knew that there was a pill or like a tablet that could be used like a toothpaste. So I don't have to buy that pack of toothpaste that comes with plastic, and then which becomes extremely difficult once I travel, right? So, and I've used them for the time I had those tablets with me, but now I have to find a different way because I cannot get them in Bangladesh. So there are many other ideas that you can maybe do. Involve your customers in the entire design process. If you're trying to sell something based on a website, invite 10 of your friends and ask them for an user journey in your website, and then they can give you feedback. Who knows, maybe one of them will become your lifelong customers. I can take another round of questions if you have. And you can even say if this is helping you, you can even say you are not liking it. Just be very open and frank. I would really appreciate that.
I like the approach of the getting your customer involved like right away and taking them on a journey. But I'm also wondering, like, I'm hesitant because I'm thinking I'm taking away their time, or yes. So I'm thinking, do I need to give them an incentive or give them something in return for their time that they spend? Or yeah, what is your experience?
Yeah, so I can give you one example. I have this friend, and this guy now runs 15 restaurants in Bangladesh just in 5 years. So he knows that I run incubator programs and I run conferences. So every week I have to order for at least one day, order food for 50, 60, 100 people. I don't know if he does this for me. Every time he opens a new branch, he invites me for food tasting. Right. And then once I'm there and then he says, bring your colleagues. So every time I travel to his restaurants, it's 5 people, which means we are buying maybe food or it's like $100, right? So he brings in all the food and asks for feedback. And so there you will find customers who would like to give feedback. Another thing that you can do is incentive one free product.
Okay, cool. I mean, in the beginning, if I don't have a product yet, maybe I can work with future.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
something.
cool.
Anything else? All right. So yeah, I have a few more ideas that I would like to share. Something is wrong with my slides.
Is it an issue with sharing the screen, or
No,
can we
no,
help?
I have no, I have found it. It's just the screen got too big. Sorry, guys. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Perfect. So the next advice is deliver a stellar product or service. A product that attracts someone, right? This could be the packaging, the communication, the quality, and that this definitely needs to meet the need or want of the customers. And then, is there anyone who can explain what is it the difference between a need and a want?
Let me try.
Yeah.
I feel like a need is something that you cannot do without. It's like more of a requirement. And then a want can roughly lay under like luxury. Like you really crave it, but it's not as important. Something like that. I don't know. That's how I understand a need and a want.
Anybody else with other ideas?
I would go slightly with the idea of Daisy, but I like to make the comparison with food. So the need is to eat because it's a need. Otherwise, I can't survive. And for that,
Right.
any kind of food is right. And then the want would be more, like a craving. So I want ice cream because I really like it, but it's not like I need it to survive.
Yeah. So I think Shayla said it in the right way. Daisy, I think you said the opposite, right?
I think we were
Right.
aligned, wasn't it? I think Daisy also was in the right direction, if I understood you right, Daisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. So maybe I understood it in a wrong way. So need is something that we need. Basic stuff. Other than this, maybe we cannot function. And want is about something that we desire. Who is the richest man on earth? Anybody has any idea? Is it the CEO of Amazon?
Yeah.
No. He's now the second richest person in the world. The current richest man in the world is the owner of Louis Vuitton, plus a dozen other luxury products that a lot of people in the world wants. Bernard
Lot of
Arnold.
ones.
Imagine we are in a pandemic, still one person who's selling luxury products is just getting richer and richer, which means we have enough people in the world who desires something, right? So now for my water project, it's a basic need. It's a human right. Still, there were people who did not want it, but there were one kind of people who actually wanted it. So 15 years ago, I think I have experienced one sudden change in Bangladesh. We used to have these big televisions. I had one 21-inch Sony television that used to take a lot of space. In the next 2-3 years, a lot of our households were changing the television, and then it's LED or LCD or whatever. This is twice the price. Every household has one of these things. Even many households in the slum, they have them. So what I've experienced in one of the underprivileged areas, Muhammad, it's in Mymensingh, a 1 hour drive from the university where you went. So we had a lot of our current consumers, aunts or elder sisters, they have a kid who goes to a school. So this kid, came home and then said, Mama, I would like to buy shishi water because these guys were at our school and they were giving us free water. So this is what we did, experiencing people with the water, not just because we want to sell our water, but also because we wanted them to drink safe ones, right? So we had a significant social impact goal, but also we wanted to make our business a sustainable one. And then some of those women, because they are always at home, they were the decision makers. They actually started ordering our water. But we had to convince them with a new technique. So we gave them jars for free, and we also gave them a cooling machine, right? It cost $100, one of a kind investment once that we made for each household. So with this, even if you do not have a refrigerator, once it's really, really hot, you can make sure you can drink cold water, right? So drinking cold water is something that they really wanted. It was something that they desired. So can anybody think of any such creative ideas for your businesses that you think might work? And then we can talk about it. Ideas, guys?
I think we have few people who joined recently. We haven't heard from them. Yasmina and Amanda, do you have anything to say?
All right. So Lydia has a question: how to create customer profiles? So that's a wonderful question, because if we want to do this research, beta testing, getting customer feedback, we have to create this profile. So what I typically do is I try to think on multiple different layers, and I want to consider who can be an immediate customer and who can be converted into a customer in the future. But in general, we recommend to create a customer bullseye. Is there anyone who is familiar with the term bullseye?
No.
All right, so customer bullseye is basically the center character that you aim for. You know, it's the target where you want to send your product and you want them to keep coming back. Ideally, the way you can create it or create these profiles is, who are these people? What are they called? You know, and what kind of names comes to your mind? Where do they live? Do they live in the city, in the business district, in the suburban areas? Do they live in the slums or villages? You know, uh, what's the level of their education? Did they go to a school, tertiary school, higher secondary school, university, PhD? How much money are they making? $500, $1,000, 5,000, a million? Are they using internet? What's the rate of the internet penetration in the neighborhood or locality? Are they using mobile phones? If they use, do they use like a smartphone? Um, what kind of mobile network are they using? How do they spend their leisure hours? Do they like to travel? You know, do they drink coffee? If they drink coffee, where are they going to drink coffee? You know, how much money are they spending on buying cosmetics or luxury products? You know, do they go out? If they go out to eat in a restaurant, what kind of restaurants are these? You know, and what's their age group, what's their gender, all of these things, right? And once you write down all of those answers, you will find dozens of ways to reach out to them, right? If you think your customers are a group of people who are going to some certain kind of restaurants, maybe then you can do some activation with these restaurants. You can do some branding there, you know, communicate with them. If they live in a very specific neighborhood, maybe you can do some activation there. You can reach out there. You can try to see if your research and then the profile that you have, they are matching. You can conduct your research there, right? A lot of people send bulk SMS. If you know what kind of mobile network they are using, you can also utilize this. If you know they spend 1 hour each day on Facebook between 7 to 8 p.m., if you are boosting, this is the time to boost. You know, if you know they are in some certain institute, maybe you go there, right? So I thanks for the question, because this brings in a very important point of identifying our customer bullseye. Um, you know, that we understand who are these people, and Shayla has also shared this tool from HubSpot. There are also like numerous tools and techniques that you can use. And I think we also had a question on how we engage our customers or beneficiaries throughout the process, right? But I personally recommend that you design your product and service with them. So you can also take a very small design thinking course, or take help from a design thinking expert, you know, who can help you by running a couple of design sprints. So um, we are working with a company called Power Water. They're from New York, but they are now building their first product in Kenya. So we built 3 apps. It's like an Uber for water. People will get to, you know, order clean water at home, and then they have these rider apps who will be connected riders being these 20-liter waters at home. We had to spend 6 months in designing the first beta version of the product. Weeks of design sprints and product development, and now they are going to test it, right? So I think we also had this question that we do not have the beta version of the product yet. How do I test it, right? But they, without the product, just with the concept, these guys were even able to raise funding. So you don't need to have the product right now. With your idea, you can still do a lot. I can take few more questions if you have.
Actually, I may have one question. Hello, I'm Yasmina. I work in the field of health, so it's a bit difficult. I mean, and my beneficiaries are not my customers, so I find it difficult for me to like you have to engage the patients who are not the payers, who are not the clients, but the beneficiaries, and at the same time you have to find the right the right client who's willing to pay for the service I'm giving, and it's kind of I'm struggling to find the right client to who's willing to pay for the service. So do you have any strategies in mind that could help me maybe that I could jig a little bit more?
Yeah, so that's like my core business model. So because in one hand we have entrepreneurs, that's like for incubation acceleration program, but we need somebody to pay for it, you know. So we always find someone else who cares for it. So in our beneficiaries are these entrepreneurs who goes through our program, but sorry, but our business is based B2B. So we try to find or identify um, impact investors who are looking to invest in social businesses. So they care about finding these entrepreneurs. Again, create, try to find your customer bullseye. You know, do some research on what kind of uh, benefits they're looking to deliver. What is it that they care? Maybe you are thinking, okay, this is a group of beneficiary who really needs this help, but uh, there are not enough people in the world who doesn't want to deliver this benefit to some people. This cannot happen. So we believe that there are enough people who wants you or who would like to deliver the same benefit to a certain group, right? So for this, research helps, and then there are a bunch of techniques and ideas on partnership building. So here you should take this approach of building partnership. Maybe there is someone with a good heart who wants to support a certain group of people, and there is you with the service, you know, or the product or the design. So if you want to clap with your one hand, you cannot make noise. This person wants to give benefit with one hand, cannot make noise. If you can find this person, then you can make a lot of noise and can work together. So partnerships is the right kind of approach here. But there are many different ways of building partnerships, you know. But I can also share some of my, how should I say, experience or learnings in terms of basically how I do it. So I never say this is a group of beneficiary whom I want to support. Would you like to give me some money, right? But your approach should be, I know that you care about this group and you are trying to support them. Here is how my product can help you do so, right?
Mhm.
So you are actually not asking for money. You are helping somebody else to deliver a certain benefit, right? So offer before you ask for something, you know. And then, you know, building partnerships is so we even run boot camps on just building partnerships of 3 days. So it's a whole new story, but I think my short answer gives you some idea, and then I'm sure you will find ways to build from it
Thank you
or
very much.
build on it. No problem. I think I can take another question. One more question.
I have maybe one more question on the customer profiles again. First of all, thank you for elaborating on that. But for example, me, that's why I said, like, I have a hard time finding myself into the customer because I have a dream customer. And then there's, of course, the customer that is really going to buy my product. And which way do I go? Do I somehow try to get to the customer that I want, who's going to buy my product? So I also have a really specific target market, or do I go for the people who are going to buy it, but maybe like said bluntly, I do not even want to buy my product. Yeah.
All right. So I don't think I have a yes/no answer for it, but I think you have answered this at the beginning of your question. You talked about dreams. So we all dream, but do you think this comes to reality?
So I'm a visionary and dreamer. So yes, I hope. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm also a visionary and dreamer, but I think we make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So for this, we work hard, right? You know, what we dream while sleeping are not actual dreams. What we dream without sleeping, like for those kind of dreams, we cannot sleep, right? So the former president of India, APJ Abdul Kalam, he has this famous quote. He said, those are not dreams that you are seeing while you sleep. Those are dreams that does not let you sleep. So those are the customers where you find it hard to convince them to pay for it, right? And then once you are able to convince them, you have to see, are they going to come back to you? Right? So, and then there's like a big feedback and customer service and offers and buying again loop that goes on. If someone comes to you and buys it for once, I won't say this person will be a customer for you, you know, if it's not like something like a big electronics product, you know. Even for mobile phones, you want customers who would like to come back to you. That's why every time iPhone brings, you know, some new version, there are thousands of people standing outside of their stores because they desire for it. And Apple says, here is the new phone that you need to get smart, you know, but they have different kinds of approach, right? So that's one base of loyal customers. Like, for example, in Bangladesh, we have many different ride-sharing services. I don't know why. I'm a big fan of Uber. I just simply do not want to use something else, right? So it's maybe there are other groups who are better in terms of product. I just find the app, you know, the app is more user friendly than other apps, right? So I do not think you will find this answer till you meet these customers, you know. So my recommendation for the time being, everyone who gives you money is a customer, but those are your dream customer who keeps coming back to you, who gives you more money, buys your product more often.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Shayla, Muhammad, sorry, I have to drop off.
No worries. We know it's
thanks so
already
much
late
for inviting. No problem.
Thank you so much for giving the workshop and answering all the questions and joining us. I think it was very valuable. And thanks again for also letting us record so we can share with the other founders. Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be valuable also to them.
No problem. It was wonderful to meet you all. And then I wish you good luck with your work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much.
Have a nice
Thank
evening.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.